everybody, we are back. I assume if you're hearing this, you're like, oh, he did it. I assume you're like, because here's what I'll say. If a podcast has 12 episodes and then is gone for 4 weeks, it's usually done forever. I wouldn't blame you if you go, that he just was like, well, this isn't working out. But that's not the case. I'm very excited to be back doing the pod. I'm actually kind of feel like I got a little bit of new life in the pod because, as you can see, I have redone the studio. That was a big part. I had a lot going on. I'll get to all of it. But I just took the last month to kind of do a little reset and fix some stuff where, this is sort of me getting older, where I used to just go, I don't know, just keep banging your head against the wall and let's see what happens. And now I am a lot quicker to go, let's start everything over. Let's measure twice, cut once. And I just was finding it difficult to get the pod done every week, to do that much research, and then to make it interesting for you guys. So I said, let me get this to be a little more seamless. Let me get, I know the mic was annoying some people because I was always messing with it and fiddling with it. And so we got that all settled. We got this nice little mic stand. I'll show you the full studio real soon because I got it built. This is also where I'm going to start doing some of the React show. I do a show with Dusty Slay, Dusty and Connor React, and it's so fun. And so I was like, well, let me build this studio in my house so that I can do that too. So if you see me looking over here, I got a TV mounted over here. We got a camera there for Dusty and Connor React, and then we got this camera for the solo podcast, and we got the little mic stands, and everything should be better. I had my wife tell me I would hang a light and then go, does this light look good? Because I can hang the light and I can mount the shelves and do all that stuff, but I have no aesthetic sense compared to her. So I just let her go, yeah, that's the lighting you want. So I hope the pod looks better. I hope it sounds better. I hope it's just a better experience for everybody who listens to it. And also, I thought it was very nice. A lot of people commented on all sorts of different platforms saying that they want the pod to come back and that they wanted more Dusty and Connor Reacts, which I definitely do too. I know Dusty does. He's got 3 kids. He's got 3 kids, and he's being a good dad. So between being a full-time comic and having 3 kids, he's very busy. So we're going to get to the content stuff later. We're going to get back to it as soon as we can. But I'm also going to start doing more content with other comics. So we'll have some fun stuff coming up. It should be coming out here soon. I got a bunch of garden tour videos which people have talked about. Those will be up. So a bunch of cool stuff. And I really hope, I apologize if you were like, hey, where's the pod? This is coming out every Tuesday. Now it's gone. The plan is it should be coming out every Tuesday. And it should just be an easier process because I used to have to set up the camera, set up the lights, blah, 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 all the stuff that people complain about. It's not that hard, but it's just a little bit of friction. And so I got it all now. Everything's nice. Everything's mounted to a wall. It's as set and forget as you can get for a podcast. And hopefully it's just better. I appreciate everybody who listened to it when it was very baby's first podcast, but I hope it gets better all the time. So I appreciate everybody who was like, hey, the mic sound is driving me nuts. I want to see the garden, whatever. All that feedback is fun. And it makes it kind of feel like a living little community thing, which is very nice. So yeah, I'm back. It is August 11th. It is August 11th today. It is garden time. It's comedy time. And I'll also be honest, for me, it is a very special time. I am about to, this fall, I got a baby coming. Me and my wife are having our first child. We decided she's going to do it. She's the one who's pregnant. And it's very fun. This is honestly, we have not said much about it on social media. And I kind of like the idea because now, I got lots of friends who, because they're my friends, don't listen to the podcast. I wouldn't listen to my friends on podcasts usually because I go, well, I can talk to that guy. So I do foresee a future where some of my friends find out and go, "You're having a baby?" Because we just haven't said anything about it. Me and wife, we've said it. We've taken the approach, let people find out as it makes sense, and it's been great. But I will say, you forget who you've told. At least I do. And then I'll be like talking to a comic and I'll say something and they'll be like, "You're having a baby?" And I'll be like, "Oh yeah, I forgot to say that." But yeah, we are having a baby this fall. It's excited. We're going to name it Content. It's named okay, no, nobody likes that joke. I keep making that joke, but people don't like it. But no, we're very excited to have this baby. And that's another thing. I took a few weeks off to like, the studio's nice and fixed up, but the garage is fixed up. The upstairs closet, the downstairs closet, everything. There's a lot of finding studs and drilling things into walls and just that's the 2026 version of a paternal instinct. You know what I mean? In the old days, you'd go, I got to go hunt. I got to go get a caribou so that we'll have food for the winter. I said, like, we got to get something to hide the cable for the TV. It's driving my wife nuts. I did a lot of that stuff. I did some fun stuff. I changed the blades on my mower. That was fun. I realized that apparently I've been putting them through some rough use because, man, some of those, I hit some rocks. That's what I'm trying to say. I definitely hit some rocks with the mower. I've had a riding mower for about a year and a half now, so about like one full season, and yeah, I got a lot. The beginning, you're like, at least I was babying it because I was like, this mower is 10 times the price of the last mower I had. I got to take care of this thing. And now you go like, oh, I can mow that. I can mow that, and you just it's hot. You're mad. You're like, I had to do this a week ago. How's the grass already back? And then you just, bzz, and then you'll hear like and I'll go, well, we all make mistakes. But everything's been great. It's been, so I'll have the garden video up so you can see that. If you want to see that before I talk about the rest of the episode, you'll have like a visual thing to kind of reference it back to. But I also think, just a quick note, I'm going to do a Patreon. And before you go, this guy, he's been gone for a month and now he wants money. I don't want your money. You don't have to, if you want to do it, you can do it. That's great. If you don't have to. But I'm just going to put a lot of the stuff, I think we're going to do $2 a month. And the reason is more, there's stuff I want to put out there that I don't want to put out there for the whole thing. I don't want the whole internet. You know what I mean? It's like, I'm not as private as I could be. I'm a comedian, all that stuff. But there's certain things where I go, this is cool. I want people to see my garden. I don't really want people to see everything about my house all the time. It just makes me a little bit uncomfortable. So instead of, shooting it weird and blurring stuff and all that, I mean, I'm still going to try to shoot it carefully. But the main thing is I'm just going to put it behind a paywall and just be like, listen, if you really, I doubt anyone's going to pay to do all that stuff. So I guess that's my thinking, is just make it a little more private and a little more a place where I go like, hey, this is optional. People don't have to do this. They don't have to. Podcast is certainly going to not be behind a paywall. Most of the stuff's not going to be behind a paywall. It's just going to be like a few things, more garden stuff and personal stuff, because I just want to kind of keep it like a little bit inside. I just want to go, okay, if people are into it, it's fine. But, it's the difference between how you talk to your friends and how you talk to like a stranger at the bank. You're like, let me just get to know you before I do that stuff. So, yeah, I'm excited. I got a garden tour video. I worked so hard to get like I tried to get all these cool artsy shots of the garden. And then I gave my wife the GoPro for like, 8 minutes. And she got like, every shot she got was better than every shot I had been working on for months. She just has a much better aesthetic sense than I do. So, edited that down. We got a video of her going over everything we grew, kind of like a haul, like that's what we say when we get groceries. We go, haul, I got a haul. And then we I got this, I got yogurt, I got blah, blah, blah. So I got one of those if you want to see what we've been growing. We've been growing a lot of stuff. We've been growing cucumbers and watermelons and cantaloupes. Cantaloupes and watermelons have been the best thing about this garden for me this summer. I love the zinnias. You'll see the zinnias in the video. I'll put a little snippet in this so you can see them, but zinnias are amazing. Like I talked about in that episode, everybody hates them because they're easy, I guess. That's crazy. People don't hate them, but they're not, they don't get the love roses get, right? Everyone goes crazy about roses, and roses are like, we got a few roses. They're annoying. They got big, long thorns. You cut one, it takes a while for the next one to come back. Zinnias will grow anywhere. You can just cut them; they'll grow again. You can make my wife makes sick flower bouquets all the time for it makes her happy. And I like them. We got all sorts of different colors. They're great. I really encourage you, if you got an area of your house that you want to do something with, just cut the grass as low as you can or tarp it. I've been tarping grass, just killing it all so I can put in wildflowers and stuff. And just throw the zinnia seeds. I mean, you can do it. I got another video of me turning this area into a big zinnia bed. And you can take more time if you want, but you don't need to. You can truly just throw down a little bit of soil. They don't really need a lot. They're not heavy feeders. And then you can throw down tons of seeds. I bought like a 10,000 seed pack for like $15. Just sprinkled them everywhere. And they're doing great. You'll see in the video. They're awesome, and they're pretty visually, it's striking. You know what I mean? They all come in at once and you're like, wow. And they get pretty tall. And, we have our friends all our friends now have babies. That's that just weird thing where I think when you get close to having a baby, your friend group just naturally, because you're like, we're not going to the bar anymore. We're not really doing much. We're just we're living a different life. And so we're hanging out with our friends who have kids, and the kids seem to like the flowers because they're taller than most of the kids. And then the kids will run through the flowers. And we've been having a lot of our friends and their children over to the garden, and it's fun to watch. I'm really excited for that with my own kid. It's very fun to watch a little kid, eat a tomato and kind of be like, what I thought these come from the fridge. The watermelons have been great. I was nervous because last year I tried to grow them, no success. This year we got maybe 15, 20. It's been awesome how much they've grown. And then the cantaloupes, I don't even remember that we bought them. We bought all the stuff we planted at Needham's Nursery out in Mount Juliet. They're my friends. I love them. But that's where we got all their stuff. We got this one. It just said melon. It wasn't even, most of their stuff's labeled a lot more specific. We just bought something that said melon. And then one day I was going through sort of the garden area, and I just saw like a cantaloupe. It looked like a guy had snuck in and just like put it on the ground. And I was like, that's weird. And then I learned when they're done, they just come off, they just detach from the stem. So it does look like someone just left it there because it's done and it's off the stem. And it was great. When I first ate it, I thought it wasn't that good but then here's what happened. If you eat fruit that you're used to getting from the grocery store and then you eat it when it's 91 degrees, it tastes less sweet. Your brain tricks you. You go, this is not. And then if you put it in the fridge and it gets cold and you go, oh, this is great. And now we're giving cantaloupes away. There's a guy on my street, the Tomato Man. I think I've told you about him. He just drives around. He's got a golf cart. He's being old the right way. You know what I mean? He's an old guy. He's got a golf cart. He drives around the neighborhood. He gives people paper bags of tomatoes. He gives people who move in to the neighborhood tomatoes before he meets them. Like he goes, here's your tomatoes. Also, what's your name? I just think it's a great way to be old. I really like that guy. And I'm trying to become the cantaloupe man. That's going to be my new, if I have to pivot in comedy, I will be comedian cantaloupe. That will be my name. And so, yeah, we got a ton of cantaloupes, ton of watermelons. Our tomatoes have stalled. They're all green now. We had a ton coming in, all these different varieties. They're all green, and I was reading that happens when it gets real hot, and they'll come back in a little bit. What else took off? Oh, we planted a ton of black beans. Those look like they're doing great. Beans are they seem idiot-proof. We have a big trellis that has all these green beans. They're doing great. We had 1 million ghost peppers, but we also learned that nobody I know likes them. So I was just, every day I would just cut them and then come inside, and then my wife would go like, hey, make sure you don't touch your eye because you cut all those. And I go, what am I doing? So we pulled that out, gave away all the peppers, and put in more black beans and more stuff that just is doing good. So it's August. It's real hot. In theory, I'm going to do more. I got a bunch of stuff that's going to go in the ground now for a fall harvest. But I don't want to, I just don't want to say I did it and then in a month go, well, I didn't do it. But the plan is, we got some stuff that needs some cooler temperatures to germinate, or like potatoes you can do again and harvest in the fall. So we're going to do that. I just I got to suck it up and just get out there for, a few hours and get everybody in and get everybody irrigated and all that stuff. But It's hot, man. That's what the garden is really, it's like get everything in, get everything ready, get everything irrigated. And then your time outside, it's like I just could spend a lot more hours in a row out in the garden back in the spring. Now it's like, dude, after a few hours, you're like, I got to get out of here. I'm going to get heat stroke, which is like, heat stroke, it doesn't scare me from a health perspective. It scares me from having to come inside and be like, I got too hot, and have my wife be like, I'm having a kid with this guy. That heat stroke's one of those ones where I know it's a legitimate illness, but it doesn't feel like it. Do you know what I mean? I have that like dumb part of my brain that goes like, you can't. Heat stroke's like getting dizzy. Where if that's what was happening to me, I would say something else was. Do you know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? There's certain things. Like the other day, I drank so much milk I got hurt, and that's probably that's probably the craziest thing I've ever said. But you ever drink so much milk and then you don't feel good? I love milk. I drank a lot of milk. I didn't feel good. And then my wife was like, "Are you okay?" And I didn't want to say I drank so much milk I got hurt because I love her and I want to stay married. So I had to be like, I think I might have tweaked my back. I had to. There are some things that if they happen to you, if you care about your spouse, if you care about your spouse, you need to lie about them. Like just from the, I believe that not real things. You can't go out of town and not tell it. But if you drink so much milk that you get hurt, you got to be like, I threw my back out. I threw my back out lifting something. It's like if I got hurt playing pickleball. That's why I don't play pickleball, because if I got hurt playing pickleball, I would have to lie. If someone goes, "What'd you do to your knee?" I'd go, "I played I was fighting a high school boy." Like anything is better than getting hurt playing pickleball, because then people go, "This guy's playing pickleball." I had a friend who got a very serious knee injury playing disc golf, and I go like, "You got to just say car accident." You know what I mean? You just gotta, it's for not even just for you, for the other person. So they don't have to go, "Jeez, you got to take it easy, Tiger Woods of disc golf." Yeah, I've been having a great time though. Life is very good. I'm trying to prepare for this kid, which I'm so excited about. Having a kid feels like the second I knew we were having a kid, it's a nice North Star. You know what I mean? Where you just, whenever you're trying to figure out what you're supposed to be doing, it's very simple to be like, well, what's my goal? And, when I was 25, I don't know what it was. It was like some vague, I don't know, go on a date, do something cool. Now it's like so obviously number one, do something in service of being a good dad. It just makes it all easy. It makes, the career stuff easy, what I should be doing personally, professionally, all that stuff. I've been going back to the gym all the time. I mean, I've been going to the gym for like probably almost a year now. I got really back into it. I was always on and off. I love the gym. My buddy Ben Denninger, when I was like 15, 16, got me into weightlifting. Ben's the best. But it kind of ebbs and flows, and it's been a weird side effect of having a kid on the way. As I go like, I gotta get in shape. Which is a weird. You don't really have to as a modern parent, but I always thought. I remember being a kid. I got the best dad in the world. I don't want this to sound like I'm trashing him. I always thought it would have been awesome if he had looked like Matt Damon in The Odyssey. And I'm not saying I'll ever get there. I don't think I will. I don't think anybody except Matt Damon in The Odyssey will get there. But it's a nice goal. It's a nice goal to be like, you want your kid to be like, my dad's the strongest dad in the world. You want him being in third grade talking crap to other kids. I do, at least. That's my goal. But yeah, it's gonna be very exciting to have this kid. I can't remember what I was about to say something. Oh, I've been having a great time, and we've got very lucky. We had a lot of community stuff. A lot of people have like really been very unexpectedly nice to us. And that doesn't sound great necessarily, because people are always nice to us. All our friends are great. We have a great community, and it's important to me and my wife, and we prioritize it. But it's just been shocking when people find out you have a kid on the way, they kind of go out of their way to do stuff for you. And it's been really, moving. It's been awesome to see. Comics helping me, make sure I'm working as much as possible so we can put away money for the kid. People just doing regular nice stuff. My buddy John gave me like a whole Yeti chest full of deer meat, and it was the best. It was. I mean, I have some sort of weird. I think a lot of guys have this. I have some sort of primal thing where, like, when I go to Costco, I go, what would be awesome is if we could have 10 $200 beef roasts in the freezer. And that way I know we're safe. And I say it to my wife and she just goes, I don't know what you're talking about, but there's something I think if you're a certain type of guy, that's what you want. I used to work as a busboy in Sarasota, Florida. I was a busboy at this restaurant, and we had all the cooks we had DUIs because they were cooks. And so we did have one who had like 3 DUIs, and we had 2 cooks. They both had DUIs. One of them couldn't drive himself home. So I would drive him home, and he would always say, like, I can give you cash or I can give you ribs from the restaurant we worked at. And I know you can take cash and buy ribs. Someone giving me ribs was so much more exciting. I would always have the rib, and then I would feel like I cracked the code. I would get home and be like, I got all these ribs. What could go wrong? You know what I mean? Sure. Am I working at this restaurant because I got kicked out of college? Maybe. But do I have ribs? Yes, definitely. I do have ribs. So that was a nice thing. And as I've gotten older, I've talked to people and I've realized that they also have that. I have some friends who get it, and then other friends who are like, what do you think, the grocery store's gonna be closed? And I'm like, you don't get it. This isn't fun when you do that. So I think my buddy John gave me, John Deloney. He does comedy, and he's also like, it's funny. He's one of those guys I met, and he's very unassuming, but he has like a massive podcast, and he is doing comedy, and he tricked me because he just started doing comedy and didn't say like, hey, I have a massive podcast show and all those stuff. So I didn't know. And then I was like, I like this guy. And then something happened, and I was like, oh, like, you got a whole thing going on. But he's a hunter, and he gave me the meat, and it was great. And I can't wait now I'm going to try. I think I'm trying to get into hunting. I think that would be a nice thing. And, maybe I'm overthinking this, but I think it would be a nice thing to do so that I could then do it with my kid. That seems like a great way. A lot of parenting seems to me to be like, how can you get your kid in a place where you can like talk to them, kind of sneak your values in without doing the whole like sitting them down and being like, now when a man loves a woman, like that type of talk where they just go, leave me alone. You got to avoid tripping that sensor. And I think like I remember when I was a kid, my dad I played basketball very poorly. And my dad would drive me to practice, and he would just kind of say stuff. And I didn't realize at the time he was sort of trying to get his worldview in my head. But at the time, that's what he was doing, and it was great. And we have a great, healthy relationship, and I think he did a good job. So I'm trying to figure out ways to model that. And that's to me, I go, man, you go hunting with your kid for 2 or 3 days. That might be a great way to just really build a bond. And then your kid, you got to know. Having a kid seems... I mean, there's days where you go, how am I ever going to... You know what it feels like? It feels like I have been playing a game for 33 years. And I've just now... The game's called Being Alive. And I just got kind of okay at it. I just got to a place where I go, I think I know what's going on. And then they go, okay, we're starting over. And this time you're coaching, not playing. And I go, oh, how am I going to... I just got kind of okay at this. But I think that's how life is, where by the moment you go, I can handle this, ideally you're moving on to something else because you want to keep growing and all that stuff. But yeah, it's exciting. It's daunting. I'm getting a little... not sick of, but it's funny to watch everybody you meet just has to, they talk to you like it's an Iron Man. You know what I mean? You go, yeah, we're going to have a kid. And they go, hope you slept all that you wanted to because you'll never sleep again. And you go, hey, man, do you got to do that? I get it. I get it. But do you got to do it? My dad is the word. My dad loves to be like, my dad is, you know, if you ever seen me do stand up, I've talked about him a lot because he really is a crazy guy. He says all sorts of wild stuff. But he used to be like, I can't wait till you have kids because when you have kids, that's the end of your life. And I go, that you got to find a better way to say it. I know what you're trying to say, and you're a good dad, but that's not. But yeah, he loves to just be like, he's almost hyping it up. He's like, we're gonna come in there and just undermine you. We're gonna feed the kids sugar. And I go, all right, we're great, man. What is this? Are we still at lunch? Why are you talking to me like this? But yeah, it's gonna be fun. People give you the big scary parent talk. They go, oh, you're never gonna, bye. I just hanging with my friends who have kids, I'm starting to understand why your parents, no matter who you are, your parents will kind of never respect you because it's not they won't respect you, but it's like, it doesn't matter how old I get. When I talk to my parents, if I go, I read this thing about, the economy, I can kind of feel them go, shut up. And again, we got a great relationship. It's just the nature of parents where it's like, you're trying to tell someone something and they, for like 3 years, they had to check on you and be like, do you need to use the bathroom? And that's never gonna, you can't ever come back from that. Do you know what I mean? I used to have friends who were like big drinkers and then quit, and I still kind of can't let it go. Like I have a friend who's been like sober for like 3 years, and he'll be like, you know what we should do? And I'll be like, I don't know, not piss our pants at Mickey's in East Nashville. That's probably what we should do. Like I won't ever, and that was one time that he pissed his pants, and I can't ever, he's in my phone as piss pants. But if you're a baby, I mean, your parents meet you, you got no neck at all. You're just, and then you're peeing on stuff. You can't, you gotta make all these mistakes. They got to stop you from pulling a bookshelf on you. And then you go, you know what I think about the economy? And they go, shut up. I don't care. What do you think about it? I had to stop you from dying every 5 minutes for years. You're going to tell me what you think? I just think it's like it's a thing that will never fade away. And that I have a lot of, that's like that's a 2026 thing to do, is get mad at your parents and be like, I'm cutting them off. And it's like, man, just relax. You know what I mean? Like, if you got some Game of Thrones parents where they're doing some wild stuff to you and being really actually mean to you, do what you want to do. But I think by and large, it's like, yeah, you just gotta roll with it. You know what I mean? That's the arc of a life. You're dumb. And they go, well, he's our kid. We love him. Then you get to be an adult, and they kind of get a little squirrely as they get older, and you just got to deal with it. You know what I mean? You just gotta be like, yeah, all right, that's a good. When I was young, my parents used to say they would say stuff to me that made me laugh. So they'd be like, you should call the Daily Show, and I'd be like, well, it's not like all right, I'll get the yellow pages. I'll call them and see if they want. Also, and then say what? Hey, does Jon Stewart need someone to fill in? Like, it was just this. And again, they love me, but they're not comedians. They don't know what the world is. So they would, whenever someone tries to give you advice at your job and they don't have that job, it's always the worst advice. Like if I was talking to a firefighter, I'd be like, you should bring more water. So I don't get fired up about any of that. I think it's actually, that's one of the things I really find myself saying to lots of people. It's like, if your aunt talks to you and it makes you upset, it's like, well, she's your aunt. She's not supposed to. It would be insane if you were like, you know who I'm really on the same wavelength with? Is my aunt. Like that's not what they're for. You love your aunt loves you, but you don't go like, you know who gets me? Listen, I don't want to. Maybe you do. Maybe you have an aunt, but I'm just saying, historically, my aunts are women who are 30 years older than me. And just every woman I meet who's 30 years older than me, we don't have that much in common. We don't. I will say this: having a kid thing is great. Having a kid is like, it's like small talk gold. You can, I mean, if you see someone and you can kind of tell they have a kid, and then they're like talking to you, we're having a kid. They go, you know what? Just take these groceries for free. Like, it's very fun to see how nice people are to you. And I have friends who have babies, and they say, like, they go, dude, go somewhere with a baby, and you're going to start having connections with strangers that you've never even. Like, my friend was like, yeah, just old ladies at the checkout counter will just, you're talking to them, and suddenly you're both crying. Like, it's crazy. So I'm excited for all that. I'm excited for the baby to be here. I'm excited for my wife to stop having all these crazy. I just feel bad. She's going through so many things, and she's a champ. She doesn't complain about it. She's got the right mindset. But pregnancy is like, whew, there's a lot. There's a lot going on, and sometimes it feels like mean. You know what I mean? Like, they'll just be like, "Oh yeah," like, we'll go to the doctor, and they'll be like, "Yeah, this is a side effect," and it's it's some bizarre. They go like, "Yeah, every time you smell raisins, you'll hear screaming now," and you go, "Why?" And they go, "You're pregnant." Like, there's all these weird side effects, and then all I can do is be like, it's yeah. You should take a nap or whatever. Like, that's the other thing too, is you're kind of useless because she's going through, she's the only one who's pregnant. She's got to go through it. And it's fun to be as helpful as possible and all that stuff, but it's funny. We're definitely in the like, would you love me if I was a squirrel phase, where she'll just, it'll be quiet, and then she'll be like, would you love me if I was a squirrel? And I'll be like, man, I want to know the 5 minutes in your head that just led up to this. You know what I mean? Like, yes, I would. And B, let's trace our steps. How did we? Yeah, we were like, we'll just be sitting there, and then she'll be like, we got to put the kid in swim lessons. And I'll be like, what? He's not even here yet. We will. If he's near water, we'll make sure he's equipped to handle it. But we don't got to do it right now. It's Thursday at 4 p.m. But I'm really having a great time with it. And I'm excited to see, all the changes and all that stuff. And, I'm trying to really gear up and be ready for it, as ready as I can. I'm getting the garden ready for next year. I'm tarping stuff so that I can expand how much, our little garden footprint, plant more stuff. We're trying to get asparagus and rhubarb and things that you plant once, and then they just keep, it takes a few years to root, and then they come back forever. But yeah, we're having a great time. It's a lot of moving pieces, but I'm excited to do it, and we're gonna get back to the deep dives on the podcast. I'm gonna do some of those. I'm gonna do a lot more stuff. I'm gonna have some of my comedy friends come in, and have some guests. I'm gonna just mix it up, and I appreciate everybody who says like, "Hey, I like this. I don't like this." It never bothers me. I like it. I mean, if you say, some people are like, I don't like the way your voice makes you sound like a stupid idiot, and I go, I probably won't read too much into that. But most of the comments are very helpful and nice. And yeah, it's great, man. I got a bunch. I'm trying to look at this. I got some gigs coming up. I got some gigs. I'll be with, you know what? I'll be with my old boss, Rodney Carrington. I was, I don't know if everyone who listens knows this. I used to be Rodney Carrington's opener for 2 years. And my friend who is the current opener, is taking, I think, a few weeks off to film a movie. So I'll be out there September 18th and 19th. I'll be in, man, these are specific, Marion, Illinois on the 18th, Pine Bluff, Arkansas on the 19th. And then we're doing the following week, so the 25th of September. So yeah, that's 18th and 19th of September. 18th, Marion, Illinois. 19th, Pine Bluff, Arkansas. 25th of September, we're doing St. Louis, Missouri. St. Louis, Missouri. Last time I was in St. Louis, I checked into a hotel with my friend Rocky Dale Davis, and then the hotel clerk goes, "What do you guys do?" And we said, "We're comics." And he said, "Do you want to do my podcast?" And we said, "What?" And he said, "We could do it right now." This is at the front desk. And we go, "What's it about?" And he goes, I rank local rappers." And I go, "You're not going to believe this, but I might be the worst guest you can imagine for that. I actually know almost nothing about local St. Louis rap." And then we were there for I remember we were there for 48 hours, and it was just every time we'd walk by the guy, he'd be like, if you want, we can do the pot. And we'd be like, don't you have people to check in? Anyway, that's a tangent. But St. Louis, strange city, but I'm excited to go back. And then the 26th will be in Topeka, Kansas. And then I got a bunch more gigs. You can see everything at comedianconnorlarson.com. And my Facebook has been a lot of new people on there, which has been exciting. So if you're from there and you're watching this, thanks. I really appreciate that. I'm posting sketches. We're going to have all the new videos. We're going to have new Reacts content with some special guests. We got a lot of stuff coming out, and I really appreciate everybody who is listening and, stuck it out. I'm sorry there was a 4-week break, but I just wanted to get this thing dialed in. I wanted to get my life dialed in, and, we got a kid on the way, so that's always going to be my priority, but it should be coming out every week from now on. We should be doing the episodes. Some of them will be deep dives, and then when I'm not, when I don't have a deep dive ready, I'll just do one of these. So, I hope you like them both, and I appreciate all the content or all the comments and all that stuff. I'll get the Patreon up. That'll have garden tours. That'll have lots of videos of me doing stand-up, like old ones and new ones and whatever people want to see. So yeah, I appreciate everybody who listens, and I'm excited to be back. I think we're going to have a theme song, and I hope you like the theme song. Let me know about that. And yeah, it's been a great month, and I appreciate everybody listening. So I will see you next week.